guys, welcome back. This is Bruce and I got another episode for you. And this is a defensive episode where I will go through some replays and talk a little bit more about defense. And I'm also doing a Road to Glory video right now and editing it, and that will come too. So in this one I will only talk about defense, and in the other one I will purely attack PvP bases. So yeah, anyway, the first thing, guys, I built another masterpiece, and it turns out to be a building health masterpiece with 29%, which is actually very nice for a lot of reasons. And right now I got a 28 one, so let me reclaim it and deploy the 29% building masterpiece. And then I will talk about why a difference of 1% actually makes a huge difference here. So let's put it there. There we go. Okay, guys, so the first very important key insight about ice statues. We will also boost that one right away. And let's see, I have to check, because as you all know, I like even numbers. So we'll boost one more. So I got 152 power powders. In any way, I'm very hung up on even numbers. But yeah, let's go back to the defense. The thing is, we got the key defensive buildings. They include the rocket launchers, the boom cannons, and the shock launchers. Those are pretty much the most important defensive structures and the major obstacles to taking down bases. And obviously for the warriors, obviously for the tanks it's the boom cannons, and for the Hooka the combination of it, and for the warriors mainly the shock launchers and the rocket launchers. In any way, those key defensive buildings, okay, they got 12.1k and 11.9k on the rocket launchers. And the thing is, if you have ice statues going on, if you have, for example, 29% ice statue going on, it will boost the health of your rocket launcher to, let's say, mine is boosted right now, so it would be 3,400, so it would be 11.8k plus 3.4k. And the thing is now, if you toss a barrage on the rocket launcher and then you toss one artillery shell on it, you will be able to take it down unless the boost of the rocket launcher, this one here, exceeds 5k, because 5k is the damage a maxed out artillery shell does. So if you now put up ice statues, especially building health statues, you go in step by step. The first thing would be, you want to make people use one more artillery shell than they would normally do, which means you want to have at least 5k boost on the boom cannons and the rocket launchers, so that people need one barrage and 2 artillery shells. So, and you can actually come up with a calculation right now, and then you can basically go for 11.8k or 11.9k plus 5k. And then you can basically calculate the perfect number or the perfect percentage you should have. And the thing is, the percentage you need to actually force people to use 2 artillery shells is 29% plus 13%, which equals 42%. And at 42%, you get that point where people now need 2 artillery shells. So if you get a building health masterpiece of 29% and a building health guardian of 13%, you actually won't need to boost them to force people to use 2 artillery shells. And if you boost them, you only need to boost 2 statues to force them to use 3 artillery shells. So actually that 1% makes a huge difference in defense. And I know this is very abstract and very analytical, but on the top it really comes down to those small things. So this 1% increase is a major game changer for me, because I can now deploy a building health guardian and force people to use 2 artillery shells without boosting them, and force people to use 3 artillery shells with boosting them. And that will help out immensely. On top of that, I have a 37% troop damage masterpiece going on, which really helps a lot, because building damage is very, very important. For example, as you can see with the cannons, okay? A cannon does 856 damage points, and now check my boost, okay? So it comes down to, let's say, 1,000 172 or something, and that actually exceeds the damage per second of a boom cannon, which would be unboosted, because an unboosted boom cannon only deals out 1000 per second. So as you can see, that building damage makes a huge difference. And then you can go ahead and actually calculate the perfect level of building damage boost, and that perfect level should be that cannons actually can one-shot unboosted heavies, and that boom cannons can actually one-shot tanks and stuff like that. And then you can come up, with really mathematically optimized defenses, but that is really sophisticated and advanced gameplay. So I'm not really sure if you guys are interested in it, but I figured I will share it. And the next thing is about defense in general. There are three major guidelines you should keep in mind. The first one is you should avoid clusters so that people can't shock clusters. And the thing with clusters is it's very important. A cluster, for example, we have a cluster here with a mortar, a boom cannon, and machine guns. But that is not a real cluster, because in this particular cluster there's only one boom cannon, and that boom cannon is dangerous, and the other buildings, for example, are not dangerous to Hooka or to tanks. So what I mean with a cluster is an array of defensive buildings that can be shocked with one shock, that actually all threaten a particular troop combination. So for example, if you can shock two boom cannons and a shock launcher, it will be super easy for tanks, so you should at all costs avoid that. And this is the first thing, you shouldn't build up any clusters. And I really tried that here, we'll go into it later and tell more about the setup. The second thing is you really want to make it as tough as possible for warriors, okay? So and I'm still working on that one. And warriors, the thing is you have to force them to use uncool passes to get to the headquarters. So you want to place obstacles in their way, and you will want to obviously place mines very well. That is the next thing. And you also want to have all the rocket launchers and all the shock launchers reaching the headquarters, because boosted up rocket launchers deal actually a major damage to warriors and make it really difficult for warriors. So that is another thing. And obviously you want all the mortars to be in reach and stuff like that. So there are a few guidelines to base defense that apply on all levels, and that are uncontested. And then it comes down to fine-tuning how you go with it. And I really talked a lot about analytical stuff, but I felt like I really want to talk about it. And I think, it's a very important issue, especially in high-level gameplay. So yeah, now let's have a look at some replays, okay? There's one particular troop combination which is really very ridiculous, and it is Scorchers and tanks. Let's have a look what they are doing. I will go to 2x speed. So he's just landing his troops. Obviously they're maxed out with maxed out landing crafts, and now he's starting to barrage the boom cannons, and the Scorchers are actually moving pretty fast. I got it at 2x speed, but still, let's go back to 1x speed. They are moving really very fast. The Scorchers are taking almost no damage at all. Now there's one boom cannon actually that kills the tank, only one boom cannon, because the Scorchers missed that boom cannon, and he's using all his gunboat energy on the boom cannons. And as you can see, the shock launchers are actually shocking the Scorchers, but it doesn't really matter because the tanks are there and they deal also a lot of damage. And one Scorcher now has a red health bar, and I think it it's due to the fact that it got hit by a boom cannon. But yeah, and now he's actually barraging the headquarters, and it's a mess, and the flamethrowers, the Scorchers are flaming the whole thing, and the tanks are shooting, and the Scorchers really take a lot of damage. And yeah, he's rolling all over the base, and it is really very ridiculous. And maxed out Scorchers in combination with maxed out tanks are almost unstoppable, unless you have so much building boost going on that the boom cannons, become a problem for the Scorchers. And yeah, okay, and anyway, this troop combination, it is really ridiculous, because in my personal opinion, it does not require skill. But that's a different thing. It is very effective, and in the end, it doesn't matter if it takes skill or not if you're effective, because at the end of the day, your results count and not how you did it. And yeah, anyway, let's go to the next guy. He got warriors, and it looks like he wasn't boosted up, or maybe he was. I'm not 100% sure. He might be purely offensive. Let's have a look. And lately, I'm still trying to figure out how to defend against the warriors, but it's really difficult. Let's see what he's going to do. Okay, he's first barraging that corner there to clear a few mines, and he got one machine gun because the machine gun is only at level 14, so that is still very weak. And this is also one of the main problems I have right now, that my machine guns are pretty weak. My flamethrowers are maxed out, but with those weak machine guns, and also weak mortars, there's a lot of DPS lacking to kill warriors, so it becomes really difficult for me to defend against warriors. But I'm hoping to be able to really defend against warriors very soon, especially because I will have maxed machine guns very soon, and on top of that I will probably deploy another building damage guardian. We will see about that. So he's now landing 2 boats of heavies, and the heavies are clearing all the boom mines. Now the warriors are coming. Also, another thing is the flamethrower in the beginning of mine is only level 5, I think, and it's not really strong. If that flamethrower is strong, it will also cause major pain to the warriors. And as you can see, the warriors are actually running in a very nice line, which is unfortunate, and I think I have to replace my iron storages in order to change that up. And he's now flaring them up all to that flamethrower there, and I'm not sure, I think a few warriors or heavies, I'm really not sure, got out of reach there. So he's now shocking all that stuff there and going for the headquarters, tossing a medkit, tossing another medkit. It all looks very messy, and it looks like he's not doing a lot of damage, but apparently he does a lot of damage. And the thing is, with this strategy, if the warriors are all cramped up behind the core, behind the headquarters, the splash damage of mortars and rocket launchers is more intense. So, sometimes it's a better idea to have the warriors all go around the headquarters so that they're evenly, divided. But then again, it all comes down to, the particular base design in question and stuff like that. And let's check again. As he only lost 5 warriors. How is that possible? He deployed 48 warriors and he lost only 5 warriors. And in the end, there were only very few warriors. I'm a little bit confused. Let's do it 4 times speed and check it again. But it seems like all those cramped up warriors there, they were all in one bunch. And due to that, it looked like there were only very few warriors. And yeah, there we go, the heavies. Yeah, and definitely need to change up that iron storage. That is very important. And now let's see what is happening there. All those warriors in that corner, and it looks like it's only very few warriors. What is happening? That is very confusing. And he landed all 8 landing crafts. But as you can see, okay, apparently the warriors are all cramped up there. It looks really ridiculous because look at it. It looks like there are only like 3 warriors left. This confuses me a lot because it looks like he only lost 5 warriors. How is that possible? Maybe someone can shed light on it. Maybe there's a bug. I'm really not sure what's going on there. Let's go to the next replay. Okay, this is unboosted tanks, obviously, and it is really ridiculous that I can't defend against unboosted tanks. It is not possible, which clearly shows that tanks are very strong, and in particular because I got maxed out cannons and maxed out boom cannons. There's only one cannon in the far left corner that is not maxed out. So let's see what approach he's choosing here. And will the tanks roll through the boom mines? No, they won't. He had to regroup them. At least I forced him to use 1 flare. Now he's starting to attack. The thing is, I'm not 100% sure if I should change it up a little bit, that the cannons are more in front, because I figured that the cannons will start to shoot while he's still shooting at the economy buildings, but that is apparently not the case. Also, my cannons, although they're maxed out, don't deal a lot of damage, which is really, crazy, especially because the cannons got buffed up. And in my personal opinion, maxed out cannons and boom cannons and everything, they should deal a little bit more damage to tanks maybe. I'm not sure. We can discuss that in the comment section, but I personally think that it's really ridiculous, that unboosted tanks can take out the boosted base with maxed cannons and boom cannons, without losing too many troops. But then again, I think he lost some troops, so it's not too bad. But then again, it also looks like he didn't have the best strategy there, but also not the worst, because he apparently beat me, so it can't be that bad. But then again, it doesn't look too good what he's doing there. I will speed it up right now. He's doing a lot of maneuvering there, trying to pick up all the free GBE and barraging the boom cannons. And I think I might have to rearrange that also a little bit more, that it gets more difficult for the tanks to pick up free GBE in the beginning, you know, and so that they really have to face the boom cannons. And this is really very important. Another thing is, as you can see, the rocket launchers are not really doing any damage to the tanks, which is very unfortunate. But then again, that one rocket launcher actually killed a tank, I think, but it might have been also the boom cannon. I'm actually decimating his troops there right now, but it's still enough tanks to take out my base. And I think if I rearrange my base a little bit and put up a troop damage guardian, it might change it up. I'm not too sure about it, but it might be the game changer. And yeah, we'll skip that right now. And it seems like the battery of my phone is running very, very low. This is why I will jump back to my base right now. And the first thing we all saw that the warriors actually got cramped to the right side due to that iron mine, which is very unfortunate. So we'll actually place it here now in the hopes that more warriors run through the middle. And also it looked like no warriors went through those mines, so we'll actually put those mines there and see how that goes. It's not really perfect because the rocket launcher is there, and if people barrage the rocket launcher, for example, Hookers, they will get the mines too. But then again, you know, the mines are more important for the warriors than they are for the Hookers. So yeah, so I'm in the hope now that the warriors get more cramped up there, not so cramped up to the right side, but get more spread out. And the thing is, why I put that sawmill there is that the warriors can't flare to the mortar and the machine gun, because they then walk through the middle where all those mines are, and then that sawmill spreads them out. But I have to watch more warrior attacks. The thing is, I don't get attacked too much by warriors lately. I don't know why. Okay, another thing is I really want to upgrade my machine guns as fast as possible. Those are level 14. This one is actually maxed out already. And then this one is going to level 18 right now. The mortars are really weak. And there's another thing, guys. I haven't built the 4th mortar and the 5th machine gun yet, which is also, you know, very funny considering the fact that I'm almost level 50, that I'm already level 55. But then again, you know, I prefer to have the other buildings maxed out first, because a level 5 machine gun won't make any difference at all. And yeah, another thing is with the warriors, if this flamethrower is maxed out, it will also cause much more pain to the warriors. And now let's go to the boom cannons. As you can see, all the boom cannons are around the headquarters, which is in my opinion very important, because it becomes much more difficult for tanks to take down the base. Because all the boom cannons are there and they can't be avoided. If I place, you know, a boom cannon where the rocket launcher is, it can be avoided. So I really want to have all cannons in play. The same goes for the shock launchers. And as you can see, it looks like there is a cluster, but you can actually shock either one shock launcher and one boom cannon, or the other shock launcher and one boom cannon, but it's not possible to shock them all three. I checked it out and made sure that it's not possible. It's also not possible to shock the shock launcher and the rocket launcher there and there. And this one is also separated from the boom cannon and the shock launcher there. And in any way, you know, the thing is, rocket launchers and boom cannons can go together, because the rocket launchers don't mean too much for the tanks. So if a rocket launcher and the boom cannon gets shocked by a tank player, it doesn't really matter that much. And Hooka usually have to clear at least 1 or 2 rocket launchers, so I'm not too much worried about that. But then again, I don't have them in clusters anyway, and the only cluster I have is this one in the middle, where you can shock one shock launcher and one boom cannon, and this is a cluster shock, but it's the only cluster shock that's possible, and that makes it much more difficult. And besides that, I'm playing a modification of the corner base, and I still think it's pretty effective and it's going quite well. And lately I'm rising in VP again, especially because my cannons are maxed out now. But I will talk about that more in the Road to Glory video, and I hope you got some insights about defense and what my reasoning is behind my actions there. And if you have feedback for my base design or any general feedback or anything, please post it in the comment section. Everything is much appreciated. And I hope you enjoyed that video. Give me some feedback if this stuff is in demand. And yeah, I will now do the Road to Glory video. I have to wait 1 or 2 more hours to let the map fill up, but that won't take too long. And then yeah, see you soon, guys, and enjoy your day.